You're gonna be a big star someday. You're gonna make us a whole lot of money. All you gotta do is sign that dotted line.
I met some chick in Vail who was really into MySpace from Austin, Texas. She turned me onto it, and it was so cool. You could put up videos, and you know, there's friends and people comment on your band, and it was. I actually signed up on December 31st, 2004. So we know the exact date of conception, and we actually, on MySpace, that is.
I think we got into MySpace probably like 4?
Soon enough to beat all those other punks to Phantasm.
Yeah, we got the URL of Phantasm, so we were happy about that. It was probably like 2004 or something like that. It was I think it was like right around the time when it started getting popular.
Do you know how many metal bands wanted that name for their MySpace? And we beat out.
Yeah, you know how many horror movies wanted that for their MySpace?
Yeah. Nick and I had always played, from the time when we were kids, since we lived together, being brothers. I guess we made the MySpace. We were originally called The Letdown, and we made a MySpace for that after we'd been playing for, I guess, 2 or 3 months. We were waiting for a recording to put up.
We rented a van for the night to go to Boston, a 2-seater van.
Yeah.
And then built like a little cocoon in the back
I
for
carried all of us
and
and all our
I
gear.
lied on the floor.
They laid on the blankets.
And there were like
Chris
6
drove
people.
the wrong way.
Lost. Chris still throwing Chris's side of him.
Every band from the kids down the street to the biggest band nowadays have a MySpace, so in some form everyone's going to be using MySpace and sites like that to kind of promote their band and their music. On what level, it depends. I mean, the smaller bands, obviously, that's a good way to get your music out there. And for the bigger bands, it's a good way for fans to feel like they're, still close to the band and see what's going on with them.
It provides bands that wouldn't have had the opportunity to get out there with some opportunity. And now, people aren't forced to listen to the same thing. And it's providing a much wider spectrum.
A lot of people who are serious music listeners don't necessarily take MySpace that seriously. They use it to a certain extent to stay in touch with certain bands or almost as like a side thing. And it works pretty well for more mainstream acts, but I don't know, the labels still take out ads in serious music journals.
They can promote shows for almost nothing. Before the internet, they had to spend big dollars on getting publications to feature an ad about their band, but now they can do it on the internet for little or no money at all. At the same time, bands are using that same way of getting their music, to be heard by people. They're promoting their shows online for little to no money.
It makes it really easy for anybody to be like, oh, what does that band sound like that's playing tonight? And like check out your page or like find a band after you listen to them instead of like having to track down their CD or like find them. You can just find their MySpace.
The only problem is there's so many bands now. It's like you have to really get to that point.
Go
to their MySpace.
Yeah.
Check
Go to
them
their
out.
bands. Who they check out? How many friends do they have? Are they getting a lot of comments? It's a good way to generalize, the popularity of an act.
Like, I remember when we played out in Ohio, we played at this place, first time we played there. We were on tour, and there was a bunch of kids came out that just listened to us on MySpace.
It's just good that if somebody hits your MySpace page, then if they want to buy the music, they can buy it right on that page without having to click through.
I'll go, and if somebody writes a comment to us, I'll go right back. I'll kind of like check out their page, see where they're from, tell them, hey, we're going to come back. We're going to be back in your area in a couple weeks or whatever. I kind of try to develop almost like a personal relationship so I can kind of recognize these people and when they come out.
I think it's hilarious when Jay's talking online and he's talking to these people on MySpace or whatever, and he sees their picture on MySpace, and then we'll be at a show and this person will come out and he's just like, "Are you Opie 154?" Or calls them by their MySpace name or something like.
Yeah, Mary Woe.
Yeah, it's like
If they're really into the band, usually MySpace is a good way to keep up with what the band's doing. And you can comment, you can use the blogs. The blogs are very effective because blogs right now are a very good way to get people to have a general buzz about a group.
I'd say like 75 to 80% of our touring, is through MySpace or email or, online stuff. I'm thinking back to like my dad back like when he was playing and touring and stuff. I don't even know how they did it. Like they did it. They had like booking agents, making phone calls or whatever. But like I can't even. How do you even know about these places, venues and hooking up with other bands and trading shows?
Yeah, that definitely changed the dynamic.
We have had some bands through here who were sort of a MySpace phenomenons, and they've done quite well performance-wise, but they don't seem to be. It's funny, they can like draw a pretty big crowd for the show, but they don't seem to be able to sell product.
I don't think we didn't even broke 100 yet, but I was just still impressed. It was still like 60 or $70 worth of iTunes downloads. We only get maybe half a penny for each download, so
I think it's more than that.
Yeah,
I think it's higher than that.
3/4 pennies.
Actually, a lot of our downloads come from Europe, and I don't know why, but they actually give you more money for some reason.
I think MySpace really changed things for low-level bands because it's so affordable, being free, and so easy to set up. I mean, anyone can set up a MySpace music page.
It's so saturated with bands at this point that, I've been on MySpace since I think December of '03 personally, and for the first few years I'd listen to every band that friend requested me, and if they were cool I'd add them, and now at this point I get so many on a daily basis that I don't even have time to check them all out, and most of them are terrible anyway.
Get 35 friend ads a day from a band, easily. Why does the flight stand out?
People are able to be exposed to, countless new artists, but, the downside of that is countless new artists really, really suck, and there's a lot of bad music because there's so much.
When MySpace first started getting huge, so many artists would include their amount of friends in their one sheets or their press kits when they'd send them out. It'd be like, we have 200,000 friends on MySpace. That means we're huge, which isn't the truth.
We tried probably everything everyone else is doing. We tried all the shenanigans, except although I gotta admit we never used a friend adder really.
I mean, we ask everybody. There's robots, and I'm sure you know all about all the tricks, but you ask everybody in a certain area to be your friend, basically. Who's on it.
When MySpace first came out, there used to be a sort of importance that people put on how many friends a band had, and now with friend adders and song play counters, you can up your song play count, you can up your friends, and I don't think that matters as much anymore. The labels know that can be faked.
I know that several bands have gotten success with record labels just from their fan base on MySpace. They see that they have a lot of fans, therefore they feel like they can sell to a lot of people.
I think a lot of people made a lot of money off that stuff over the years, and I think now they're just getting what they deserve.
I mean, there's always going to be pop consumer shit that people are, I think millions of dollars off of, and whoever is going to buy whatever they're told to buy.
I guess you're always going to have your Nickelbacks, You're always going to have your generic pop radio.
And everybody seems to panic really quickly when, somebody does something. And I think we saw with Radiohead before Christmas.
They're out there with no record label.
And I feel that, Radiohead and Madonna have already made that decision now.
But bands are starting to realize they can do things without it.
By opting not to have a record label, by doing it solely on their own terms.
They essentially gave their new album away for free, and then when they released an actual CD, it entered the charts at #1.
But they are largely established already. You still kind of need a band, like a record label, to help market and promote your band, because they simply have the money to do that. Like, no band is going to have enough money to get their music solely out there themselves.
Labels are business people who put music people in touch with advertising people, promotional people, whatever. Nobody can do it all on their own.
People from everywhere, like Sweden and
we have people from this guy from England that comments all the time, which is really cool.
Yeah, there's that girl from England.
Yeah, so it seems like a lot of people are just finding us on there, and because we haven't played a lot of different areas yet. We haven't really had a chance to test whether that's actually getting those people to come out to our shows.
Matter of fact, we walked in here and this guy's our friend on MySpace.
Can't compete with the porn stars. They're much prettier.
You're our friend, right? Yeah.